Have you ever wondered why some people over 80 still live joyfully, stay healthy, and remain independent, while others struggle just to get through the day? People may be the same age, but they age in very different ways. Some live quietly within their limits, while others are full of energy. They're quick on their feet, mentally sharp, and their eyes still shine as if life holds many adventures yet to come. And the surprising thing is only about 5% of older adults can still do the things we're about to explore in this video. These aren't major accomplishments or headline-making achievements. They're quiet, powerful signs that someone isn't just living longer, they're living better. If you're curious to know whether you or someone you care about might be part of this rare group, don't miss this. These signs may not be loud or dramatic, but each one tells a deep story about health, resilience, and the human spirit. From physical agility to a soul still full of inspiration, each of these 7 qualities reveals why some people still carry a vibrant spark even after so many years have passed. Stay with us until the end of the video, because not only will you discover these signs, you might walk away with new hope for your own aging journey. Who knows, you might already be doing one or more of these things without realizing how rare and valuable they truly are. Let's begin. Sign 1: walking briskly without assistance. One of the clearest indicators that someone over 80 is still exceptionally healthy is their ability to walk at a brisk pace without needing a cane walker or someone else's arm for support. Not just slow, careful steps around the house, we're talking about strong, confident strides while walking through the neighborhood, shopping at the store, or crossing a parking lot with balance and independence. This ability isn't just about having strong legs. It's a powerful reflection of physical coordination, balance, and a deep sense of independence. At this age, every confident step is a quiet victory, a sign that the person isn't just defying aging, but living with admirable self-reliance. When we're young, walking is so natural that we rarely give it a second thought. But after 80, a steady gait becomes something precious, and not everyone is lucky enough to hold on to it. As muscles weaken, joints stiffen, and balance becomes more fragile, many seniors begin to slow down, often relying on a cane, a walker, or someone else's arm to steady themselves. Yet those who still walk briskly into their 80s often share a few important traits. They've stayed physically active for years. They've prioritized leg strength, and above all, they've never stopped trusting their own bodies. It may sound simple, but walking speed is actually one of the most important indicators in research on longevity and quality of life in older adults. According to experts, seniors who can still walk at a good pace tend to live longer, remain more independent, and recover faster from illness or injury. Why? Because brisk walking isn't just about your legs. It's a sign of coordination across your heart, lungs, nervous system, and entire musculoskeletal structure. It's often called a silent test, but it speaks volumes about your overall health. Take Harold, for example, an 83-year-old who lives in a small town in Illinois. Every morning he walks to his favorite diner just a few blocks from home. It's not far, but it's consistent. He doesn't need a cane. He doesn't need someone to walk with him. On the way, he chats with neighbors and greets the local shopkeepers. For Harold, being able to make that walk means he's still in control of his life. His stride isn't fast because he's in a hurry. It's fast because he feels strong and trusts his legs to carry him. And the point isn't to show off or pretend you're still 50. It's about continuing to live on your own terms. It's about refusing to be defined by age or dependence. It's about holding on to the freedom of movement, something so many people have lost without realizing. So if you or someone you care about can still walk confidently without assistance, recognize how valuable that is. It's not just a sign of physical well-being. It's a symbol of a life lived with independence, dignity, and vitality even as the years add up. Sign 2: sleeping through the night without waking up. It might sound ordinary, but for most people over 80, a full night of uninterrupted sleep from bedtime until sunrise is incredibly rare. As we age, the body begins to speak up: more frequent trips to the bathroom, lingering aches and pains, or a restless mind full of racing thoughts. As a result, sleep gets broken into pieces and mornings arrive with a foggy, drained feeling like rest never fully happened. However, there's a small group, about 5%, who still manage to sleep deeply and continuously through the night. And this isn't just luck. It's a powerful sign that their bodies are still functioning like a well-tuned machine, balanced, regulated, and strong from within. Sleep isn't just rest, it's repair. It's the body's time to recover physically, mentally, and emotionally. For most seniors, important stages of sleep, like deep sleep and REM, which supports memory, mood, and neurological restoration, become shorter or get interrupted altogether. But those who sleep soundly into the morning show that their biological clock, hormone cycles, and nervous systems are still remarkably in sync even in their 80s. What's even more encouraging is that this kind of sleep doesn't usually happen by accident. Seniors who sleep well rarely rely on pills. Instead, they follow simple, consistent habits. They stick to a regular bedtime and wake-up schedule. They avoid heavy meals or screen time before bed. And most importantly, they've learned how to release worry and truly let go at night. Take Helen, 82 years old, living in Oregon. She doesn't take sleeping pills, nor does she rely on an expensive mattress. Her secret lies in how she ends each day. She brews a cup of chamomile tea, sits quietly for 15 minutes, and reflects on one small thing she's grateful for. Then she lets her mind settle like a still lake before turning out the lights and going to bed. It's this deep appreciation for quiet, intentional moments that has helped her nurture such restful sleep, a simple gift that many seniors unintentionally lose over time. Helen's body doesn't sleep just out of habit. It has been trained night after night to feel safe and calm the moment she lies down. The peaceful environment she creates through repeated behaviors in a tranquil state of mind sends a clear signal it is time to let go and fully rest. This kind of deep sleep isn't just luck. It's a living sign that her body and mind are in deep balance, functioning in harmony, unaffected by stress, anxiety, or erratic routines. If you're someone who can still sleep through the night and wake up feeling light, clear-headed, and refreshed, know that you possess something incredibly rare. Because what truly matters isn't just how many hours you sleep, it's whether your body actually surrenders during that sleep. And if you've spent years taking care of your health, managing your emotions, reducing mental clutter, and building a calm lifestyle, your ability to sleep peacefully might be a quiet, powerful sign that you've been doing something right all along. Sign 3, retaining a sharp, short-term memory. At age 80 and beyond, one of the rarest abilities to hold on to is sharp, short-term memory. Most of us have seen it happen: older adults forgetting where they put their glasses, struggling to recall a recent name, or stopping mid-sentence because they forgot what they were about to say. It's a natural part of aging as the brain gradually slows down. And yet there's a very special group of seniors who still recall recent events in detail, tell stories with clarity, and participate in conversations without missing a beat. Interestingly, this ability isn't simply the result of good genes. More often, it's the reward of decades spent maintaining brain-healthy habits. Short-term memory is closely tied to the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for storing and processing new information. Over time, this region tends to shrink, leading to memory decline. But if you can still recall what you ate yesterday, follow a conversation with your grandkids, or keep track of your daily tasks, that's a sign your brain is still functioning at a remarkably high level, even in older age. What's even more remarkable is that some people seem to resist this typical decline. They can remember a conversation from a few hours ago, recall appointments without writing them down, or tell a story from beginning to end without losing their train of thought. This isn't just momentary sharpness. It's living proof that their minds have been protected, trained, and cared for over an entire lifetime. And the best part, this kind of mental clarity doesn't usually come from major efforts, but from small, consistent habits repeated over many years. Seniors who retain strong memory tend to do a few key things. They stay socially engaged, maintain active relationships, read regularly, challenge themselves with puzzles or learning, and perhaps most importantly, they steer clear of excessive stress and isolation. They're not just maintaining brain health, they're actively nurturing it every single day. Take George, 84 years old, living in Virginia. Every week he hosts a trivia night at his local community center. Every Thursday evening, he stands in front of a group of friends, asks all the questions, and remembers everyone's scores, all without looking at a list. George says, "I don't need to be perfect. I just need to keep my brain active, stay curious, and never let myself slip into mental laziness." It's that mindset, always asking, always noticing, always participating, that has kept his brain not only sharp, but vibrant. Because strong memory isn't just about recall. It's about staying fully connected to the world around you. When you can still follow a conversation, remember appointments, and stay focused during a discussion, know that you're holding on to something rare, a priceless gift that time doesn't easily take away. A sharp mind isn't just the ability to remember a name or an event. It's a clear sign that you've taken care of your brain the right way through decades of attentional choices. And that mental strength still serves you today when you finish someone's sentence or recall an important detail without writing it down. At 80 and beyond, mental clarity is one of the most valuable things a person can have, and not everyone keeps it. It places you in a very small, very special group. Sign 4: regular pain-free bowel movements. No medication, no trouble. It's not something people usually bring up over dinner. But anyone who's past the age of 80 knows being able to go to the bathroom smoothly, naturally, and comfortably is one of life's most underrated blessings. As the body ages, things that were once effortless become issues: bloating, constipation, gas, or just that uncomfortable sense of not feeling finished. For many seniors, digestion becomes unpredictable, often requiring laxatives, enzymes, or strict diets to maintain any sense of regularity. But there's a small, very small group of people who still experience regular, natural digestion without any outside help. And it's not just about comfort, it's a strong indicator that their internal systems are still running well. When your digestion works properly, it means the muscles in your digestive tract are still flexible, you're well hydrated, and your gut bacteria, which play a major role, are in balance. At this age, intestinal muscles weaken nerve signals, slow down, and many commonly used medications interfere with gut function. That's why smooth, pain-free bowel movements are actually a quiet but impressive achievement. What's special about these individuals isn't a magic formula. It's a lifetime of paying attention to the little things. They drink enough water daily without forcing it. They eat plenty of vegetables, fruits, and natural whole foods. And they listen to their bodies, making small adjustments when something feels off. The common trait among these healthy seniors isn't extreme diets or expensive supplements. It's a steady, mindful way of living. They don't chase trends. Instead, they stick with what's simple, natural, and consistent. They move every day, even if it's just a few laps around the house or sometime outside for fresh air. They choose fresh, familiar foods that their bodies know how to digest. That stability is what helps their digestion stay strong, avoiding sudden disruptions or reactive fixes. Take Clara, for example, 81 years old, living in Minnesota. Every morning for decades, she has followed the same routine. She wakes up early, drinks a full glass of water, before anything else eats a warm breakfast with a bit of fruit, and then takes a gentle stroll through her garden. She doesn't count calories. She doesn't worry about probiotics or trendy health foods. She simply listens to what feels right and sticks with it. Clara says she hasn't had any major digestive issues since she was in her 60s. You might think, what's the big deal? But for someone over 80, healthy digestion without medication is a clear sign that the body is still running smoothly. When you can eliminate regularly, comfortably, and without worrying about every meal, it means your muscles, nerves, and gut microbiome are working together like a well-trained team. If you don't have to constantly adjust your diet, take something to get things moving, or feel bloated or sluggish, then congratulations. That's something to be proud of. It means you've treated your body with care for many years, and now it's responding with consistency, ease, and a gentle quality of life each day. Yes, regular pain-free bowel movements may not be something people talk about often, but they're one of the most honest indicators of true health. And if you still have that kind of balance, you're holding on to an invisible treasure that many would wish for. Sign 5. Laughing freely, holding on to natural joy. After 80. At first you might think laughter is just a personality trait, something emotional, not physical. But in reality, the ability to feel joy spontaneously, to laugh at something silly, to smile for no particular reason, is one of the most powerful signs of internal well-being. Because as we age, life often layers on worry, loss, and emotional heaviness. That's why those who can still laugh easily, who still see humor in everyday moments, are often aging with surprising lightness and grace. Laughter isn't just a reaction to something funny, it's a reflection of how we view the world. Seniors who laugh freely often have flexible minds and resilient spirits. They don't get stuck in rigid routines or dwell on past regrets. They've learned how to let go, forgive, and flow with the present, something not everyone can do, especially past 80. There's also strong science behind it. Studies have shown that laughter lowers stress hormones, boosts immune function, and increases pain tolerance. When an older adult can still laugh until their belly shakes or tear up from joy at their grandchild's silly joke, it's a sign their nervous system is balanced, their mind is open, and their heart hasn't closed itself off. And the joy doesn't come from grand occasions. Seniors who laugh the most often find delight in the small, ordinary moments: a bird tapping on the window, a surprise phone call from an old friend, or a grandchild's innocent comment. To them, these aren't little things, they're daily reminders that life is still full of feelings, still worth savoring. They're proof that happiness doesn't come from circumstances. It comes from the choice to keep your heart awake, no matter your age. Take Frank, 85 years old, living in North Carolina. Every morning, he starts his day with a cup of coffee and his favorite comedy clips. His grandchildren say he laughs so loudly the neighbors can hear him through the kitchen window. For Frank, each morning is a chance to remember life is still good, and laughter is a gift he gives himself. Frank calls laughter his medicine because for him, it keeps life from becoming too heavy. He doesn't deny the challenges of aging, but he refuses to let them steal his ability to enjoy the moment. And what's beautiful is that the joy doesn't just stay with him, it spreads. The laughter of joyful elders has a special kind of power. It softens the tension in a room. It helps others open up. And in a world increasingly focused on what's going wrong, their ability to focus on what's still right becomes a rare form of emotional leadership. So if you still find yourself laughing at silly things, still smiling during quiet afternoons, that's not just a sign of a good day, it's a sign your spirit is still very much alive. Your heart is still warm, and no pill can give you that. Holding on to emotional lightness after 80 is already rare, but being able to share it with others makes it even more precious. If you have that gift, treasure it. That inner light might just be what makes others feel calm and safe when they're around you. Sign 6, living slowly without feeling left behind. In today's world, everything moves at lightning speed. News scrolls non-stop, technology updates every week, and the pace of life never seems to pause. For many older adults, this creates the feeling of being left behind, disconnected from the flow of modern life. But there's a small, special group, those over 80, who remain calm and grounded amidst all the rush. They don't try to catch up. They choose to slow down. And strangely enough, that very slowness allows them to live more deeply, more meaningfully. They don't mind taking a few extra minutes to make tea. They're not embarrassed if they don't understand the latest smartphone features. They read books instead of scrolling. They listen more than they react. And within every slow, deliberate act is something powerful: presence, full, mindful, and steady. This isn't outdated, it's wisdom. Living slowly doesn't mean giving up. It means knowing when to pause. It's the ability to recognize what truly matters and what can be let go. It means choosing meaningful conversation over constant phone notifications. Think of Lon, 86 years old, living in a quiet countryside village. She doesn't turn on the TV in the morning. She walks outside, looks at the sky, waters her garden. She calls it a moment to hear that I'm alive. She doesn't use social media, but she knows exactly how each of her grandchildren is feeling. She moves slowly, but she feels deeply. And in her family, no one thinks she's behind. In fact, they come to her when they need a place to pause and breathe. So if you find yourself living at a slower pace, don't see it as a weakness. It might be a sign that you're living with intention, with clarity. And that in a noisy, chaotic world is incredibly rare. Sign 7. Holding on to daily gratitude. There's one thing that may seem small, but it runs deep: the ability to look at life, even when it's simple, uncertain, or painful, and still quietly say, I'm grateful to be here. Not many people can hold on to that after 80. Aging often brings loss of loved ones, of health, of what used to be. But among a rare few, there are elders who wake up each morning with a gentle smile, not because of anything big, but simply because they get to live another day. They're grateful for sunlight, for birdsong. They don't complain about aching joints. They smile because they can still get out of bed. They don't compare the present to the good old days. They choose to honor the small joys of today. And the beauty is, gratitude doesn't need conditions. It doesn't matter where you live, how much money you have, or how strong your body is. All it takes is a heart that stays open enough to see the value in what's still here. Treat, 89 years old, once said, I don't wish for anything big. Each night before bed, I just whisper 3 things that brought me joy that day. Sometimes it's just a warm bowl of soup, a call from my granddaughter, or the breeze in the afternoon. That's enough for me to sleep well. Older adults may lose many things, but if they can still hold on to a spirit of gratitude, they're still connected to life. A grateful heart is a sign of a soul still lit from within, of a heart that has not closed. If you still feel thankful for anything, no matter how small, then you hold one of the rarest and most valuable treasures of old age, a heart that hasn't hardened. Final thoughts. Before we end, take a quiet moment to reflect on everything we've explored today. Among these 7 rare signs, brisk walking, restful sleep, a clear memory, strong digestion, spontaneous joy, mindful slowness, and daily gratitude. Which one resonated with you the most? Which one feels like you? Which one are you still working toward? There's no single path to aging. Each of us walks a different journey. But if even one of these signs lives inside, you know that you're not just getting by. You're truly living. You are holding on to independence, balance, and presence, qualities the world doesn't always expect from older adults. But through patience and quiet determination, you are proving otherwise. And that's something to be incredibly proud of. Whether you've achieved all 7 signs or you're just beginning to work toward one, what matters most isn't checking every box. It's the fact that you're still engaged, still trying, still living with curiosity, courage, and intention. Because every small habit, every conscious choice is proof of a life lived on purpose. If today's video offered you something meaningful, share it with us in the comments. Tell us one thing you learned and how you plan to carry it forward. We truly value every story you share. Your words are more than feedback. They're the fuel that keeps us going and allows us to spread this message of hope even further. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss the inspiring content we have coming next. Thank you for being here. We look forward to seeing you in the next video, where we'll continue exploring the timeless beauty, strength, and hope that life has to offer at every age.